Hello everybody, welcome back to the Let's Play Factorio series of Factorio version 0.17 with Isaac. In between episodes I've gone ahead, tried to throw up some walls and some turrets here to secure this oil patch. That way I can hopefully work in relative peace as I try to get this oil established for you. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is just throw down these pump jacks. And I'm going to put them in such a way that they face each other, and I can run them to a central crude oil line. That might be a little too close, a little too on the nose. There we go. And so just bumbling through here, placing down pump jacks. So you got two left. How many oil? Oh, there's one. Trying to track down all these Trixies and Peskies oil patches. Do I still have one that's just floating around here somewhere? Yes, I do, right there between those trees. Alright, there we go. Now we're just going to try to hook all these up in a way that kind of makes sense, gets everything to connect up to one central line that I can then take out to my base. And I try to use underground pipes as much as I can so I can walk between them, since for the standard pipes you can't, and that makes trying to maintain and take care of this place just that little bit extra painful, you know? And I'll probably have to run back to base here for more pipes, more power poles, and I think I'm gonna start experimenting with using some medium power poles, even though I've got all the materials to do it and all the research to get it done. I don't think I've actually made any yet, and I'm missing some copper and iron for that to just do it on the fly here. So as I set this up, one of the things I'm thinking about is cracking oil, the advanced oil processing recipes, which we don't have access to just yet. But when it comes to setting up oil, I'm going to set up my oil with the ratios in mind for this right here, so that I can crack the heavy oil down to the light oil and the light oil into the petroleum, since almost everything we're going to be using from this point on for oil materials are going to require petroleum. And the ratio here, with the math worked out ahead of time, is that for every 10 refineries, you need 1 chemical plant cracking heavy oil to light oil, and 6 chemical plants cracking light oil to petroleum gas, I think. And so when I start setting down my chemical plants for oil processing, I'm not going to be worried about setting them down for basic oil processing, which we have right here. That just takes crude oil in and outputs heavy oil, light oil, and petroleum gas. Instead, I'm going to be setting down my oil area in preparation for the advanced oil processing. Because if I do this all the way I want to get it done, then the first blue science we research will be that advanced oil processing. So there we go. We've got a pipeline. Everything, nope, not everything's connected. There's a gap right there. Don't even have power poles for everything just yet. But that's one of the reasons to run back to base, is to pick up some iron, pick up some copper, and get those medium power poles constructed. And so now, just like underground belts, I'm just going to hold left click and drag up until I get to about here, of course, and then extend that up. There we are. Drop in some connection pipes, and then continue on. And the nice thing is, I could just follow the power poles that I ran out here to eventually power everything. And this is going to be a bit of a zigzag course, I already know. So, well, if I'm going to have this wonderful map, I might as well use it, right? So I think I want to set up oil processing right about here. Okay. So we are going to be doing this from very far out, just so I can keep my landmarks in sight, hopefully. Because trying to do this semi-blind like this, while I find it loads of fun, is a little, well, it's just kind of dead reckoning, you know. You're shooting blind and hopefully I've got the right path. And there we go. And so I'll just continue this on out over here. And I think I'll set up my refineries somewhere in that region. And it would make it a lot easier to set up these refineries if I didn't misclick quite so horrendously. But all part of playing the game. Got to learn how to do it correctly at some point. So, yeah. I'm going to run these refineries in a horizontal pattern here. And I don't think it really matters how I do it. 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's 6, 7, 8. Oh, I only have 10. I don't even know why I don't even know why I'm trying to count this out for you. And for right now, we're just going to be doing basic oil processing since that's all we have. So we'll set that recipe up. There we go. And here you can see the inputs are oil, petroleum gas, or oil, and only oil on both inputs. And the outputs are your petroleum, your light oil, and your heavy oil. But when we go for advanced oil processing, we're going to need water in here too. And I heard on Exterminator's channel, when he had started this Let's Play series for Factorio 0.17 up, that what he remembers where the water goes is that water's heavier than oil, and that heavy oil is lighter than gas, so the two heavy elements, the input and the output, go on the same side. That really does work. At least for me, it really does help me remember too. And so that's what I'll be going for. Now, I'm going to be heading on over, get those materials, so I can hopefully craft myself some medium power poles. Alright, I don't need pump jacks there. Miners I'll still need on the hotbar, so I'll just plop those there. And I want to make that for my medium power poles. Getting pretty close to the point in time where I have to seriously consider rearranging my hotbars here, so that I can just reach everything I need to as efficiently as possible. And I think 50 some electric poles will do pretty good, but just in case we'll just strip off a whole line of steel here for a bit, and we'll make another 60 odd some. Almost forgot, definitely need more piping. We'll be good on inserters, might want to get some undergrounds. And we have plenty of straight pipe, but just in case we'll grab a few more. There we go, that should sort everything out. And don't worry, I know I mentioned last time that I was going to be trying to get into expanding my green circuits. That is still on the list of things to do. But if you notice right now, we're researching a lot of military and weapons tech. And that, besides being just really helpful, is just to clear it out of the way and kind of take up some time while I'm waiting for plastic to be produced, the red circuits to be produced, and so on, to get blue science into production. So now we do the great long walk back over to our oil patch. And this has me thinking maybe I should have made a car, but it's really not that long. I've had games where I've probably walked longer for resources in the beginning of the game, you know. So this pump jack already has power, so he should be supplying. And there we can see in the pipes that they have a positive pressure, indicated by that 99.9 over the crude oil icon. And so we're just going to try to expand our electrical network out to get as many of these pump jacks as possible. And I'm not going to worry about being super efficient with my power poles. For something like this, I believe it's more important just to get the coverage down. And I'm not going to worry about this being too neat either. Oh, guess it's going to be one of those awkward moments. Oh no, I missed two entirely down here. Well, and this is why I try to revisit my oil patch a couple of times for any playthrough, is because I still don't quite have it down for making sure every connection's made all the time. And then we'll just loop it all in so I don't have any singular point of failure for my electrical network over here. Since if that happens, I run into a serious issue of disrupting all production that depends on oil. Huh. And I guess I forgot to actually connect that line to anything. It's fine, we'll just bring it over here, bring it up. One of the things you want to try to avoid is creating an oil loop so that everything can feed back into itself. You want to make it so that everything, see right here, I have these 2 lines. And I'd kind of prefer not to, but I think nothing's going to get in the way. So I'm going to leave it as is. But if my crude oil suddenly drops off, and I can't figure out why at one end, I'm definitely going to come back and look at this arrangement and figure that I probably messed something up over here. And so now we'll run back to our refineries and start setting down chemical plants. And as you see down here, biters are still coming in. It's one of the reasons I want to get through this initial setup process is besides the fact that I'm just going to need oil to progress any farther in the game. I also really want to get to laser turrets. So now right now I'm making what's essentially a fluids manifold. And you can see right there, it won't let fluids mix or different fluids mix in the same pipe. So if I do this and I try to click here, the game just won't allow the placement of that pipe. So sometimes this gets a little finicky when you've got a plan going on how you want to arrange everything and you're working on it just a touch out of order. But right here, all I'm doing is connecting all similar outputs together. So that we can create a centralized feed line for all these different products. And it's at this moment I really kind of wish I had robots, because they do this kind of meticulous portion of the game so much faster than I do. So we're going to throw down chemical plants in preparation for that cracking. And we're going to give ourselves some space, or at least I'm going to give myself some space, to be able to fit in plenty of pipes for both water and for the main fluid. And so I think it was 7. 6 for the oil, or 6 for the light oil, 1 for the heavy oil. Except I think it's actually 8. I think you need 7 for light oil, because that 7th one will take the light oil that's cracked from heavy oil and convert that to petroleum gas. Excuse me here, kind of stumbling over my own words. So we have that, so I'm just going to hook up the crude oil here. And I'm keeping an eye at where my filler researches are, how they're doing at the moment. Because I would really like to have Blue Science ready to go to try to get to advanced oil processing as soon as possible. And there you go. You can see I've got everything hooked up nice and clean, or at least clean enough as it needs to be right now, since all the refineries are actually producing thanks to the little flames coming out of their smokestacks. So we don't have the recipes for these, so I'm not going to hook them up just yet. What I am going to do is hook up the power poles for to get this going as soon as possible when advanced oil processing does become available. And this also means I can extend out to the main production bus of everything I'm going to be doing. And now, right now, all I'm doing is trying to figure out where I want to run this line. Do I want to run my input out to here and then across? Or do I want to run it to here and over to here for processing? And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from the end of this line here, run it down as far as I can, and we're going to start a fluids bus down here and start our actual intermediary oil production. Actually, I don't think I'll do that with heavy and light oil. I think I'll just do it with petroleum, since petroleum is going to be our end product for everything. So, on to plastics production. And for plastics, we're going to need coal and petroleum gas. Well, we already have the petroleum gas here, and that's flowing. And, oh, well, look at there. So I'm going to throw in energy weapons damage for the moment, since I'm nowhere near quite getting blue science up and ready. That's going to require solid fuel, 3 advanced circuits, and 2 engine units. And to produce 2 of these chemical science packs per cycle, I'm just going to need 24 chemical science pack assemblers. And those are going to need 3 advanced circuits every second. And we could produce, and so we need 6 machines to produce 1 per second. So we need 18 machines. Yep. So we need 18 advanced circuit assemblers to produce that. But all we need is... yeah, we need 3 a second, so we need 18. Okay. Sorry, having a bit of a math difficulty day, I guess. Welcome to Friday. So all this means is that if we have to produce 3 advanced circuits per second, then we're going to need to produce 2 plastic bars a second. And we'll just keep on with the energy weapons damage. Since I really do like laser turrets, I don't have to supply them with ammunition, just electricity. So, for plastic bars, we're going to produce 2 every cycle out of just 1 machine. So, that means to produce 3 per cycle, or was it 6 per cycle? Yeah, we needed 6 plastic bars a second. So, we just need 3 machines to provide for our red circuits. I'm going to make probably 8 plastic assemblers, because plastics will be used farther down the line for other things. Some other things. Somewhere? You know, maybe not. So maybe I'll just make 4 to start with here. And that's probably going to be just way too many even. But we're going to start with 4. So we're going to set this up over here. Give it plenty of room. And we'll set these guys not to sulfur, though we are going to be trying to set that up too, but to plastic. And they only require a liquid content of petroleum gas. And so we're going to set up about here, make a really kind of quick balancer here. Set them up with inserters, and then try to figure out where I want that coal line to come. I think I want it to come back here. And thanks to those medium power poles, I don't have to worry too much about where I set my inserters. So we're just going to plop that in there. Run this, to about there, let's say. Actually, that makes much more sense. There we go. Give ourselves plenty of room to run that coal belt through. Gotta do something like that. Realize that that's gonna come right in the way, but that's okay. We'll just set that up like so. And then we just have to run our power poles back. There we are. Throw a light down there for good measure, just to remember it exists. And now I have to figure out where I'm going to pull coal from. But conveniently, I have this coal belt right here. Which, to be truthful, I was not entirely expecting. So we're just going to use... There we are. Map mode to get a quick sketch in of where that line's going to go. Hop onto the belt so we get a little extra speed, and now we have coal going in. And now where do I want to run plastics? I could run plastics right in here. Just feed them back around, come in under the line of assorted sundries, I'll call it. And there's the end of our belt, which is fantastic. Was intending to come out this way, pick up some more. So if I need 18 advanced circuit machines to produce 3 red circuits a second, to produce 2 chemical science packs a second, then I'm going to need 6 green circuits a second. And each green circuit assembler is producing 2 a second. So I have plenty there. So I'm not going to actually stress about expanding this just yet. It is going to be very much on my mind, though, especially for the next couple of episodes. But right now I think I just want to get through setting all of this up. And getting my blue science into a happy, productive state. And this side of the bus is looking quite shaky. Okay, so we'll let that even out and drown out. Oh, I did set that up completely the wrong way to do this. That does happen. And you can see here that there's not a lot of petroleum gas coming through. And I bet you anything it's because it's backed up Yep. The light oil and heavy oil are backed up since they have nowhere to go, nowhere to be processed. And so that's backed them up in the refineries. So the refineries aren't outputting anymore because unless they can output for all three items, they're not going to output any items. And so I think what I'm going to do is establish some rocket fuel production, since I need that for blue science anyways. And I think I'm going to establish that over here. Or not rocket fuel, but solid fuel. Excuse me. And we'll do that for light oil. And I don't think I need that much. And we'll also do it for heavy oil. There we go. And for now we'll keep it, let's call it even Stevens. Two for each. Later on I think I'm going to circuit control these. I've been messing around with circuits and different commands. Especially for controlling oil production over here. And if you're wondering, I have a map set up for experiments in production so that I have some sort of clue when I come record these videos for you guys as to exactly what it is I'm doing. That way I'm not sitting here taking up a lot of your time working all of this out for the very first time. And so I think that's going to be my heavy oil, so I'm going to set this guy up like this, and then he'll feed into light oil back here. And of course I've run out of pipes. The most definite hazard of any oil production for Factorio. And we'll just do what I probably should have done earlier, which is just open up a spot for my lovely materials here. And we'll just spaghetti the ever-loving pasta out of this belt chain. Okay, we'll get a little laser turret shooting speed in there. And that's where gears enter the bus. I'm having a rather serious think at the moment of just diverting these gears farther down and putting them on the iron line here. So if I did something like that, ooh, that is a lot of gears. Wait, I don't have to pick them up. Not all of them, at least. So yeah, welcome to troubleshooting. I'm going to try to clean this bus up a little bit in between episodes. Next episode is going to be finishing up our oil production, getting solid fuel in here, making sure that all balances out pretty well, and showing you my circuit network controls. And what I'm also going to be doing is getting red circuits set up, hopefully, since I have all the materials coming in right here. And those are going to be set up over here. And I'm going to have to expand these turrets out, so I'll be doing that in between episodes. So, next time, wrapping oil, getting red circuits done, and maybe even possibly getting blue science started. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've had an enjoyable, informative video. If there's anything I could do for you to improve these, please feel free to put it down in the comments below. And thank you, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will be back on Sunday. Have a good one.